There we go. Preparing for live. Here it comes.
Nice. Here we go. All right, everybody. Well, everybody right now, hopefully this is going to be as popular as Joe Rogan, but this is the Three Gray Nerds podcast where we're going to talk about movies, big games, books, TV shows, comic books, and just in general when on Hollywood screws stuff up and it makes me mad. I don't know about you guys.
Hey, I'm with you on that. Hollywood makes me mad a lot. The other gray nerd will attest to that. He thinks I'm a very harsh grader.
No, I'm pretty harsh too, especially when you grew up watching Star Wars for the first time in the movie theater. Where's everybody going?
I don't know where we lost one person, so that's good. Hopefully he can come back since we are still recording. So
he pressed the button. It's recorded now that you probably pressed the button he shouldn't have pressed.
Yep, but it is recording right now, so I guess we can, complain about other things. Since I know that he's been doing his homework on James Bond for the last 3 weeks, so I think he's ready for James Bond. But we could talk about how our fears for Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and all that.
Well, Star Wars is already broken. I mean, as soon as Disney bought it out, the second Kathleen Kennedy was on Rolling Stone saying she didn't have any books or comic books to go by when they made a new movie, I just threw my hands up. I'm done. Quitting life.
Yeah, and that's the sort of sad thing. I mean, I have enjoyed The Mandalorian. The Boba Fett, I was sort of hoping for kind of Sopranos meets Boba Fett, but I still think they did a fairly good job. I'm dreading Obi-Wan and pretty much dreading anything else that's coming out.
I'm not putting my expectations up high for Obi-Wan, but I am excited to see it. Boba Fett, it started off good. I was like, cool, they're going to show how Homeboy got out of the Sarlacc pit. I mean, he's Boba Fett.
Yep.
But then the ending was just a big nothing burger. It's like, oh, cool, he rode a big Rancor. Yay. It just kind of ended.
In the last 3 episodes or 2 episodes, it was Mandalorian focus instead of focus on Boba Fett. I thought he would be smarter about how he did. If anything, he was Fennec Sand, I think, is the true badass of the group. She went in and killed pretty much everyone, and Boba Fett had to ride a Rancor, run back to his castle of doom and get the Rancor. It felt like the writers got lazy on that one.
I think that happens too much. You look at a lot of TV shows, Game of Thrones. I'm sure a lot of people have watched Game of Thrones, right? It starts off really, really good and the story is really, really deep. But then it gets close to the end and they just run out of stuff. They're like, all right, we just got to wrap this up. Okay, you turn bad, you fight this guy, and it just ends. Yeah, they ran out of stuff with Boba Fett.
Which is amazing. They shouldn't have ran out of stuff with Boba Fett. If anything, you could have had him go against the Syndicate, the other crime lords, and he could have had a seat at the table. There's so many different ways they could have handled it. And it's just they sort of that they did the filler episodes with the Mandalorian. And that was sort of something Luke looks creepy in those. And the Jedi sort of, I didn't it's really hard to cheer for the Jedi at this point because he pretty much was you have to choose between either us or him. And he's
like I said it before, only the Sith deal in absolutes.
Yeah.
Right?
And he's the Sith. I mean, and that's what he did with his nephew too. He's you're bad. I'm not going to try to rehabilitate you. And I think that's my major issue is that he didn't even try to this is the same guy who tried to rehabilitate his dad, who was the biggest bad. Well, outside of Palpatine, and he he doesn't try to rehabilitate his nephew. Like that's like a complete character failure. But again, like Hollywood's lazy with writing, and they just gave up.
Yeah. A lot of stories in Hollywood is rewritten over and over and over again. It's just how you write the action scenes and how you write the story. Like if you look at the original, like Lord of the Rings, when the book came out, you know, Tolkien basically invented orcs and elves and, you know, hobbits, all that stuff. And that's fit his way into pretty much every other aspect of books and TV shows and games now and movies. But it's all in how you write it. You know, like with the up and coming Lord of the Rings, it takes place 5,000 years before the movie came out. So a lot of people are fans because of the movie. That book is very hard to read. I've read it. And it's very hard. It's not easy to read. So people are expecting to see, you know, throwbacks, but it's 5,000 years and the book's already been written. But the Tolkien people say, well, you can have this and this, but you can't have this part of the story. So then they just make it up as they go along. If you look at who directed Peter Jackson, right? Lord of the Rings. He said that he wants to try to keep it like Tolkien's story, like what he believed in, right? He wanted to say, I'm going to stick to this, and I want to respect him for his writing, because the guy's a literary genius. But then if you look at the recent article with the new Lord of the Rings coming out, they want to add stuff. Like their biggest concern is to make it diverse. That's it. They want to make their own stories. They even said they want to try to make Lord of the Rings match with what reality is nowadays. See, that's where I'm getting tired, because reality sucks. Gas prices suck. Everything sucks right now. You know, got crap going on in Ukraine. Every time you turn around, it sucks. My break, and I believe a lot of people's breaks, is when I pick up the comic book. All right, when I sit down and watch a movie or play a game or read a book. I don't want reality seeping into my fantasy world, my sci-fi world. I need a break.
Yeah, we don't want to be preached to. And it seems like everything is like Eternals is a great example. Like it just was like I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. But Marvel went off the bend with it, and they tried to get preachy with it. And that sort of, it's just sort of like, this isn't really fun. Like they're introducing characters for the sake of diversity's sake. Like Shang-Chi should have been such a cooler movie than it was. Like make him like an international spy, like James Bond. But they just refused to do it that way. They had to like add his mythical background and all that fun stuff. And then Eternals was sort of, I mean, I don't know, like Eternals, I can say I don't know that much about it. And it wasn't like a terrible movie, but it wasn't like easy to get into. And it's hard to see where Marvel is going right now. Like their movies, they don't have heart anymore. Hey, look, he's back.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm around. But now Shang-Chi did not have to be a Marvel movie. That could have been anything. Is the Marvel moniker being put on it actually made it, you know, it made fans want to actually go see it. So that didn't have to be a Marvel movie. It could have been any fantasy, you know, Wing Chun.
I guess what I'm saying is it wasn't faithful to the comics, really.
Well, my thing was it wasn't faithful to anything. It could have been anything. I mean, like I said, it didn't have to be a Marvel movie. You could have made that, you know, no different than Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It could have been it didn't have to be a Marvel movie. It just had the Marvel moniker put on it. And then you add in a couple of cameos, and guess what? Voila, you got a Marvel movie. Now, Eternals, that they crammed a lot of information in a short time frame. I mean, you had a lot of information. I mean, you had a lot of characters you had to go through. I mean,
but that's sort of like my example of Vox Machina, and I'm probably mispronouncing it, but they introduce you to every single person in 25 minutes. Like you had a basic idea of like each one of those characters, and they did a fantastic job. And you can take 7 episodes of that equals the Eternals movie, and I would say all 7 episodes of that TV show are infinitely better written in. It has humor, it has action, gore, everything in it, and Eternals doesn't have anything. Like it was predictable. They added characters, they switched genders for certain characters, and it's just like, okay, that's fine. But like, if you're gonna go woke or whatever you're trying to do, diverse, like at least do it and do it like better than what you're doing. And two, like what Bill was saying, like, I'm sorry, Darth Bill said earlier that like this is like our escape from reality. Reality isn't great right now, and like this is our escape. Like we want to be entertained. Like I mean, I've told you that I want to go to a movie, but I don't want to walk out and be like pissed off because I just wasted 3 hours of my life that I'm never getting back. And like a lot of the Hollywood movies, I feel that way. Like they're not trying. Like they just rehash things, like, and they try to pass it off as original. But
Well, they do that, and it's all about to make money. If as soon as Disney acquired Star Wars, all they had to do was make a movie and slap Star Wars on it and make a cool trailer, and people are shitting their pants. Oh my God, it's Star Wars, and they're gonna pay. I'm a dumbass. I paid for all 3 movies. The only one I didn't go to theater and watch was Solo because I was mad. I was like, no, I'm done. I'll watch it free. I'll peek into somebody's window and I'll watch it. I'm not paying for it. I didn't pay for it. I watched it on an airplane and I was mad. Stewardess came by. You want coffee? No. I want a good Star Wars movie. Can you do that?
And they messed so many things. I mean, but that's Solo is the best example. Like they had so many things that they could have, like how the Millennium Falcon's the fastest ship and they blew that. There were so many different things that they could have done better. Hey, my name is Solo because I'm alone.
Yeah.
That's like the laziest, right? I forget some book that I read when I was a kid. At least it gave him a good storyline. Like, yeah, he still worked with the Imperial like troopers. He was the only person that flipped the ship that like make the landing gear come out, and that was better written than that movie. And yeah, that movie, had what 3 different directors. It had the 2 guys who did the Lego movie, and then Ron Howard.
Yeah, but it's because the guys that did the Lego movie, that's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that was a pretty stand-up movie.
Yeah, I'm not like trying to disparage
because they had creative differences where Kathleen Kennedy wanted to go. They fired him and hired somebody else. And then Ron Howard shows up straight off of Happy Days. And he's still got to change stuff. You got to piecemeal everything they already shot together. Whatever. I don't know why Fonz even liked him anyway. I'm mad at him after that.
You lived with him for
he
a
made
while.
Backdraft. Backdraft was an awesome movie from 30 years ago. That's the only. I had hope, and then I saw Solo, and just like, yeah, your Backdraft days are over. Like, you're not a good director anymore.
Do they even screen test movies anymore? You remember, like in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and 90s, like they would make a kind of like a short part of the movie, and they would screen test. It's like, what's everybody think? Like I know when George Lucas, right? He actually went to a child psychiatrist and asked the effects on if Luke died, or if, what did the kids think if Luke finds out Darth Vader killed his father? This was when he was still writing the script. Like he gave a crap. He's like, what are these kids are going to feel like? I'm glad he went with the I'm your father, because that's probably one of the best movie scenes ever.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I would even say, I think all they do now is the studio. We'll look at Suicide Squad is the best example. The studio watched it, and then they said, no, you got to refilm it because it needs humor in it. And I mean, the same thing with the Snyder Cut. They decided to go with that. Not the Snyder Cut, the first original thing. Someone decided that movie was good, and they should release it. And then
you're talking about the Joss Whedon cut.
And then the Snyder people were complaining, and the fans started saying, "Well, let's make the Snyder Cut because, hey, at least that will prove that Snyder didn't do a bad movie." It still is not a good movie. It has cool scenes in it, but it's not a good story.
It was okay. It was okay.
No,
it
sucked.
just
It
did not.
It sucked.
The
See,
thing is, DC was trying to catch up with Marvel, right? At the
True.
time those movies came out, Marvel was already rolling. Like
True.
they already had 3 Iron Mans, 2 Thors, you know, it was there. And they're like, well, we need to catch up because you're making loads of cash. And they try to cram in like Superman versus Batman. They try to cram in so much in that one movie.
And they did it so badly.
Like there was Superman, Batman, and then there's Death of Superman. Like it,
don't get me started on that.
that's what's going to happen with Lord of the Rings. Because even though it takes place 5,000 years ago, they're going to compress 5,000 years into a series. Like they compress because it took like the Lord of the Rings book, like before Frodo brought the ring up to, you know, the volcano, that was 15 years. That took 15 years in the book. You couldn't do a movie like that. So, but it made sense when Peter Jackson compressed it because you got to have that, you know, oh, nail bite. Like, oh, is he going to make it? Imagine if they let it go for 15 years. You can have the little thing comes up from SpongeBob. Meanwhile, but yeah, that makes sense compressing it. But that's 15 years versus 5,000 years. They're going to epically fail. Like, but Amazon's got more money than God right now, so it doesn't matter. They've already greenlit 5 seasons, and it's over $1 billion put into this. $1 billion.
If no one watches it, it's going to be like. But people are going to. You and I will watch it. Probably one episode. We're both getting it in probably one episode. You might give more. I give it one episode, and if it's as bad as what I think it's going to be, then that's all it's going to get.
Well,
and then
that's what I'll do on here, right? When that starts, I'll watch the episode, take my notes, and I'll do my weekly. I'll do a episode review every week, and then I'll graph my anger meter.
Your anger meter is at 100 today. Well, no, that's how I kind of feel about Justice League because I mean that's sort of what, like that's sort of like how I not decompress, but like you go to watch it. It's sort of like getting escape from reality, and then you're just disappointed that you have stupid scenes. It makes no sense, and it just follows no plots. And like the characters that are supposed to be smart are pretty much stupid. So, I mean, Batman throughout those 2 movies is probably one of the dumbest human beings on the planet. And it's just sort of like, so you are supposed to be the smartest person on the planet and you don't know who his mom's name is? Okay. That sounds great.
I don't think people in Hollywood talk to each other. Because if you go on now, look, I'm telling everybody, right? If you've never seen an animation movie before, some of them are pretty good. So go on HBO Max, right? Scroll down. There's a whole section of DC. They got the old school DC movies. They got the shitty DC movies. And then they got all the animated series. The animated ones, the stories are freaking great. They're outstanding. It'll suck you right in. Like, why did those people who write that, did they not have a phone and call somebody else like, hey, try this. Maybe we can make this real. Because they did a Suicide Squad on there. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And Batman was in it.
But
it's like the CW. How is that TV station still around?
Don't get started on CW.
I'm gonna hammer CW. that's where DC goes to die.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible.
They make it's all the B class heroes that go on there, and it's terrible.
And I actually liked Arrow when it started.
It was good.
I actually liked Arrow. I liked it. But
even when I met Stephen Amell, I talked to him and I said it was good. He goes, what would you make better? I said, he kind of dialed back on the flashbacks a little bit because it was a lot of flashbacks. He was like having a flashback and then it wasn't a flashback and then had another flashback. I was lost. It was like in the movie Inception. Like, what's going on? But then like you have these superheroes, like Arrow's great, but they don't ever have the rights to Batman or Superman or either Wonder Woman. So when they say their names, they kind of skirt around them.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see that guy?
Yeah.
Bruce.
The guy with the pointy ears and the.
Bruce. Like I had a friend of mine that he loved the what is it, Smallville. I gave it a try. I did. I really did. I went outside and I punched my mailman. He said, "Why?" I said, "I watched Smallville." "Why'd you hit me?" I said, "Come here." I showed him. He punched me back. Because on there, they skirt on. Like, he said he knew Lex Luthor. Are you kidding me? Did they read the comic book ever?
No.
He hung out with old school Flash back then. He didn't know anybody. He was a kid until he went to Metropolis, and then he peaked. Like, he probably did some cool shit as a kid, but he wasn't hanging out with his best friend Lex, giving him hair tips. Oh, speaking of that,
hey, don't mess him up. Don't mess with my beautiful dude.
All right, Lex.
But yeah, CW, they've gone too far in a lot of things. Honestly, I tried to watch the first Batgirl, and I was warned not to watch it. A Batwoman, that's what it was.
Did you punch your mailman?
No, because I didn't make it past the first episode. Because you know me, once it starts and if it doesn't capture my interest, I'm doing something else.
I would say the first 5 minutes didn't capture my interest.
Yeah,
it was just
gone.
like, what is this? My cousin Bruce is gone. He's vanished from Earth.
Go what it was about, because it never captured my interest. Literally, I have no idea who the characters are. I have no idea. I know nothing. It never captured me. So it was boring. I mean, it was just dry. So to the point, I just went fine. I ended up going on YouTube and watching a guy talk about every episode, and he basically filled me in. So I was like, cool, I don't have to watch it. I mean, I can spend 10 minutes with this guy and he can tell me everything I need to know. What I need to spend 22 minutes watching the show for.
I can save you 10 minutes. It sucked.
Like I said, I mean, it never captured my interest, so I never watched it. I tried. And if you don't do anything to capture me, then I'm moving on. There are other things I can watch, and I just move on.
But why did they write it? Did they want to write a Batgirl story, or did they want to write another? We don't, female representation. It's like, oh, she's female and she's gay, but that was the whole story. Like, people not tuning in because, again, I could see that in real life.
Yeah.
If
try to find Bruce, or try to figure out like how to stop like the villain of the week, who was her. I haven't watched it. I thought like her dad was the villain for like 3 seconds. I don't know, and then I stopped watching it.
Couldn't tell you. Never watched an episode.
Well, you've watched the 10-minute like excerpt, so you probably know more than I did.
Yeah, well, I watched 10-minute excerpts from somebody else telling me about it. And basically you summed everything up what he said in every episode. This does not make sense. And he just went down and he said it stinks. So I went, okay, fine. I mean, I didn't have to watch it. I just kept on going. Like I said, there are other things on. I mean, I would like I said, when it came to WB, the first thing I was really aiming for was Arrow. And I went back and binge watched that and actually liked it. Other than that, the rest of those shows, they just, I mean, I don't know who they are.
Flash started off good. Flash started
off good. I wasn't thinking about that. Flash started off good. But like I said,
they started doing the Scooby Gang with them. And it's just sort of like the characters, Barry Allen is supposed to be a smart guy.
He's a forensic scientist.
Yes. So why does he need like a reporter? Like all these other people who he never worked with in the comics is just sort of like, can't you go on your own? I mean, Arrow is sort of the same way. It's just sort of after a while, it's just sort of like, aren't you smart enough to figure stuff out on your own? Like, do you have to like need 20 people to tell you Deathstroke is a bad person?
No, he's the anti-hero.
No, I know that. That's the other reason I don't particularly like either of those series, is because they totally killed Deathstroke.
Did you get my chat? I would say try to make since it's our first stream, try to put there we go. Golden. Now see, it's already delayed.
Already there.
Man.
But
all right, so should we talk about James Bond now? Since I know I know that Salam Ra wants to like he's been doing the history. He's been looking up the history that what made James Bond, and then we can kind of get into the other thing because I know we've hit a couple topics, but I know James Bond's a big one.
He's got a report. You got a report, and it's due right now.
I got a report that's due.
Okay. Break out the shoebox. You know, remember those?
The dioramas
on James Bond.
The dioramas.
He's cool.
So yeah, your work's it's up now. It's due now. I'm curious to know what you know now.
Well, I mean,
I know you were texting us about this.
We can initially just talk about it overall because I mean the cool thing about James Bond. Well, the one thing is, I mean, if you haven't seen the movie by now, sorry, he dies in the end. So we don't have a James Bond.
Oh my God! Spoiler!
That was a spoiler alert. You should have seen the movie by now. It's way over 2 weeks. Anyway.
Oh man, this channel just failed, and we just started.
We're hated already.
Well, my thing is, like I said, it's way over 2 weeks. If you haven't seen the movie by now, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry. You should have seen it by now. But
so Salam Ra just ruined the movie for people who haven't watched it. So.
You should have seen it by now.
Direct your hate toward him, not to Darth or me.
Should have seen the movie by now. That's all I'm saying.
All right, let's hear your report.
But that made me go into all the sites looking up who should be the next James Bond. And I mean, I asked around. I know a lot of people have different ways of things that they feel about James Bond. So basically. Let me share my screen real quick here. I can do that. Yeah, I can. Come on now. Oh, no, it's not going to let me. Anyway, I mean, I know the main thing was it went into a guy named Peter Popoff. And that's what, I started looking at that when it came to the overall about James Bond. I went to his history. I always thought it was just the guy, who was it, Ian? Correct me, please.
Fleming.
Yeah, Ian Fleming. I always thought it was Ian Fleming, but I didn't know it was based on a guy named Popoff. I thought that was pretty interesting, and it's kind of cool to think that he actually told J. Edgar Hoover about Pearl Harbor before it happened. Hoover wouldn't listen to him.
How much dippity do you think he used in his hair back then?
I don't know. I think he used a lot, man. That's slick.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
we have to do some spying tonight. Yeah.
That was slick. Like frog pond tadpole scum that he put like in his hair by the bucket full. Like that's the only thing I could think of like what he had in there.
Yeah, that was slick though. And you can see it's shiny. He got a little sheen to it. So I can't get mad at him. I mean, I don't have any, so
They got the side-by-side picture with him and Sean Connery.
Him and Sean Connery. It's kind of cool.
And cool. I mean, there's definitely similarities there.
Yeah. Well, I would think they actually, patterned Sean Connery like directly from him. And the cool thing, the dude was a Serbian spy. He was a double agent. Signed up with the with the Nazis. And then went over to the British and was playing double agent against them.
So what I'm thinking with the James Bond, like, we've seen James Bond come out in the 60s, right? And he moved all the way up to present time where it's a little bit more violent. I think since they killed James Bond off, whoever writes it again, does it again, they should start from scratch. Like really base it off of this guy. Like see his whole career. Like right before he gets his 00. They kind of touched on it a couple movies ago when he earned his 00, but like see his training and see the characters as he's moving up from a young age. Pick a young guy and then kind of that guy can stay with it for a little bit.
Well, before we get to that, let's go through some of the James Bonds we've had. Obviously, we all agree Sean Connery is the best James Bond ever. There's none that compares to him. To hear him say "shaken, not stirred," top of the line.
Yeah, or things don't react too well to Butch.
Nice. I can't do the voice, but nice.
Can't do the voice either, so you get an award for that. I can't do the voice at all.
Give him 5 stars.
Yeah, you get 6.
What they say? Smash the like button.
Yeah. Smash the like button. Yeah, subscribe, all that stuff
for the bros.
Subscribe. Send us flowers.
All right, but we had that. Then we had Roger Moore, not one of my favorites. I love For Your Eyes
I liked
Only.
Roger Moore. I liked him because he had like the charm, and that's part of James Bond. Like he's charming. Like to me, that's like kind of what a double agent has to do. Like he has to be kind of charming and like get his way in it. Like Roger Moore definitely is kind of goofy and
he was clunky. He was clunky. You can say it. You can say it. Go ahead, say it.
I don't think he was
It's
clunky.
okay.
I still remember him skiing down, like going off a ski jump in like downhill skis. So I've skied in those boots and they're not comfortable. So for him to do that was cool. Like he had a lot of stunts that were actually kind of cool, not truly believable, but
they were clunky. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But that's the part of James Bond. Like he's very good at everything. He's like natural at like anything he does, like for the first time. And that's the thing that I sort of like about the character. Like he's sort of like, he's not like the best, but he's very good at like all these things. And like Roger Moore to me captured that well. Was he Sean Connery? Oh no. Please don't compare.
No.
But is Roger Moore the worst James Bond? No.
No, he's not the worst.
Not.
He's not the worst. He's not my favorite. He's not the worst. I would probably drop him to number 4.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit rough because that means he's behind Sean Connery.
No. He's 4. So you got Sean Connery. Well, we'll keep going. Let's keep going.
All right, let's go to the next one.
All right, we got this guy who was a swimmer, and he only did one movie.
What, George Lazenby or whatever?
Lazenby. And he did Her Majesty's Secret Service. He only did one movie.
Yep.
That's good because he's like one step up from Mr. Bean. That's what I'm looking at.
I mean, he was an Olympic swimmer, right? Yeah, I think he was an Olympic swimmer.
Like, you know what? If I didn't know this guy and he showed me his picture, I was like, he looks British.
But he did.
I don't know. I think we could go to the next one.
Yeah, we'll go to the next one because there's not a lot to say about him. He only did one movie. All right. Timothy Dalton, who
there are pluses and negatives. There's far more negatives.
He is definitely not my favorite. His movies were not
my
favorite at all.
I don't remember much about them. I think the only thing I remember is that them using a violin case to ski down a mountain, and that's all I remember. Yeah. I would say he's probably the bottom 3 of the group.
So he's a step above Lazenby.
Yeah, if a James Bond movie's on and Timothy Dalton's on it, I'll go find something else to do. He was good in Hot Fuzz. I don't know if you guys seen that movie.
Oh God,
the British
he was awesome in that.
I haven't seen that in years.
He was better in The Rocketeer too. So,
and I don't think I've ever seen The Rocketeer. That's something. Okay, so let's move on. And we have Pierce Brosnan.
Hold on. You haven't seen The Rocketeer? I think we might have to change to Two Great Nerds and Kind of a Nerd.
No, I never saw it. Actually, I might have saw it. It might have saw me.
We got to change his name just to like Z. That's it. You're Z now. Like, you don't even have a name now. You're Z. You're just Z now.
So you catch up. But hey,
you catch up. You
get closer. You did good homework.
You have homework now. Rocketeer.
Rocketeer? No, that's okay. That's okay.
The Rocketeer, you gotta watch The Rocketeer.
But Pierce Brosnan, he was a decent James Bond. I mean, he has the charisma.
No. See, you're trying to cheat out.
I'm about to say it. You know what I'm about to say.
I can already jump. I can jump the gun right now. Like I know your wife thinks he's a pretty boy, and you think he's the same thing.
He's a pretty boy, and he can't fight. And I want my James Bond to look like
the whole. No,
I want my James Bond.
No,
that's not the point. That's not the point.
No actor can fight. No actor can fight. But all right,
I want my James Bond to look like he can do something.
He drives a tank through Russia. Like, what do you want him to do? Like, again, like James Bond is not like the best fighter. He's not like he's good at everything he does. So he literally gets into a tank and drives it through the city. He destroys the city. He pretty much blows up a train. And I mean, I know neither of my two, well, they're not fellow submariners, but my two submariners on this hate the second one because it's
because the submarine goes this way.
But that's actually the reason why
that's not happening.
That's the reason why Z doesn't like him is because the submarine thing was bad.
And it
was bad.
Pierce Brosnan, I thought was a good.
The submarine thing was horrible. So I'm gonna leave.
You lost me at Remington Steele.
I mean, I would say Pierce Brosnan was a decent James Bond. He's definitely a step over Roger Moore.
Yeah, I'll put him above Roger Moore.
I would say he's number 2.
That's why I put him at number 4.
Yeah, I put
Roger Moore at 4. I put him a step above Roger.
Well, now Roger Moore. I would say Pierce Brosnan was 2.
You say 2 behind Sean Connery?
You put Pierce Brosnan over Daniel Craig.
Yes.
We're not there yet.
Are we ready now?
We're not there yet. Okay, let's move on.
I'm looking. Where's the mailman? Come here.
So this is the last James Bond, who is Roger Craig. I like
Daniel Craig.
James Bond.
Daniel Craig, not Roger.
Roger Craig. I'm thinking of football player. He was a football player for the
49ers.
Hey, everybody! So this is the first picture on there. So this isn't on my computer, just so everybody knows.
Yes, this is Z's computer, and
all I did was bring up Daniel Craig, and this is what it brought up. I mean, look at the dude.
Hit that like button. Hit that like button.
Look at the pocket square. Look at the pocket square. Come on now.
I think the next time we do a podcast, we'll all dress up like the first picture and do the James Bond cosplay.
Yeah, look at
but that is anybody that puts their handkerchief in their jacket like that is pretty cool.
Come on now, come on, and you put him at what, 3?
I put him at 2.
Yes,
so I would say Sean Connery, Daniel Craig,
yes,
Remington Steele,
yes,
then
Roger Moore,
then Dalton, and then
Dalton.
Then
the guy that
then Mr. Bean.
We can't talk a lot about him because he only did one movie. I mean,
we can talk all we want. It's not like he's going to get mad. He's dead.
He only did one movie. I mean, I'm sorry.
So between Craig and Pierce Brosnan, I would say they're tied for me for different reasons. They're tied for different reasons. Like Craig is more. He's like he played like the physical like part really well. Like he was more like of a threat. He was like more of the weapon. Pierce Brosnan
could fight.
No actor can fight. We can like argue about that in a second.
Jet Li.
Yeah, Jet Li.
Gently. But I think Craig and Brosnan, like they're up higher. I mean, I know you don't agree, but Brosnan to me. Well, I mean, you have to remember, like I grew up with like Roger Moore, some Sean Connery. Well, Sean Connery, and so to me, Brosnan was the closest thing we had to Sean Connery. He didn't do a great job, but he was close. Like he had that attitude and everything that Bond did.
His charisma was on point. I will always say that he had the style and the
But
charisma
Craig
for a Bond.
wasn't. Craig was sort of, to me, and this is me. Like he wasn't. He was more like the hey, a loaded weapon. You just point it to someone. Like I didn't think he was. He was smooth, but he wasn't as smooth. And I would say I enjoy the Pierce Brosnan movies more than I enjoyed the Daniel Craig movies.
Really?
I would say the second Daniel Craig movie, the one where they're trapped at his house, like I enjoyed that much more than the first one.
You
and
didn't
then
like
the last
Casino
one,
Royale? Wow.
The last one, I
Wow.
didn't really. I'm probably like one of the only people on the planet that didn't like Casino Royale or whatever the movie was.
Wow.
The second, I mean, it was good, but it was okay, as you like to say. It was okay.
Well, I mean, when a movie's okay, that means it's forgettable. I won't remember it.
I think
I mean, it wasn't terrible.
I was thinking about this earlier, right? If you look at James Bond and how the story in the movies progressed, they were kind of goofy, right? At the beginning. Same thing with Batman. Like, you saw when you had the 1960s Batman, then you had the Michael Keaton Batman, and then it just got weird when they put nipples on the costume, right? But then, right, look at the Batman that recently came out. Look at the Batman who is it? Nolan did, and it's dark. They want that, right?
Dark.
So look at the progression of the James Bond movies, right? The ones with Daniel Craig is brutal.
Yeah,
extremely.
Right? They want people. I'm one of them, right? I like the old James Bond because it's nostalgia, but I want to go to movies and see like John Wick style fighting. Like the actual coming in with good finger placement on the trigger and keeping your chicken wing down. Like they actually did training for it.
No, I mean I agree with that, but I mean, I'm probably the one person. Well, I mean, Z down there, he thinks that Justice League was a good movie. So
I never said
so
that Justice League was a good movie. I said
okay.
there's an issue because we have a split between watching the Josh Whedon version and then watching the Snyder version. So the problem is the Snyder version good because the Josh Whedon version was so bad? That's the question. I mean,
okay,
so the Snyder version was 4 hours, but it made sense. Compared to the Josh Whedon version, which didn't make sense. The story was all jumbled because he cut and reshoots and cut, and they said he shot over 80% of the movie. So when you do that, you're changing the whole movie. That's why it didn't make sense. So that's the issue when it comes to that. I am not saying it was a great movie.
So
that movie,
I'm going to pose I'll pose a question.
It was better than Josh Whedon's version. I'll tell you that.
Dude, the Quest for Fire is better than Josh Whedon's.
Hey,
I mean, it took me 4 times to watch Justice League, Josh Whedon's version, because I watched it the first time and half of it watched me because again it didn't capture me. So I rewatched it and I thought after a year or so I'm thinking I think I did see that and I think I missed something. And then I watched it again. It was like, no, it wasn't the movie. I mean, it wasn't me. It was the movie. It missed something. It didn't make sense. So that's the thing when it comes to the Snyder version. Like I said, it was long. But it made sense. Finally, the story kind of put together. I mean, was it the best? No, it was not the best.
It made sense.
Compared to Josh Whedon, compared to Josh Whedon, it made a lot of sense.
So I look at it, it was like an extended cut. It's like watching Highlander 2, the original, and Highlander 2, the Renegade version. Like one made it a little bit better because they did tweaks, and that's what the Snyder Cut did. It was already
the Snyder version did more. It did more than just tweaks, though.
But
all the shots that he had, like I said, Josh Whedon shot 80%, reshot 80% of the movie.
It was still a bad movie.
If you do 80% of anything, you did most of it.
The Snyder Cut is a bad movie.
He reshot most of the movie.
It's a bad movie. It's a bad movie.
It wasn't a bad movie. I've seen worse.
It was.
I have seen worse. It was
The
not a
Snyder
bad
Cut
movie.
is one of the worst movies. Well, yeah, I know it's worse.
No, I'm
The
not
Josh
gonna-
Whedon version is worse, but that
That's
movie
what I'm
is,
saying.
but that
That's what-
movie,
but-
it's like F and F. And Darth is getting like a headache right now because
I know,
of this
but look,
conversation.
we're going off the subject of James
So go
Bond.
back to James
you
Bond.
shifted. Yeah, you shifted. So let's go through some list of people that they said that should be James Bond. So first was Lashana Lynch, she was 007 in the last movie. She took his number, which I thought was funny. I thought it was funny that she took his number though. I thought
She can get a number. That's fine.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
I'm not.
She was,
I will get all the truck drivers in the United States and drive to DC and protest if they replace James Bond with a woman. I'll bring the truck drivers from Canada, from down here. I'll get everybody. That'll unite everybody.
Let's move
that
on.
and people
Let's
wanna
move
fight.
on. Let's move on.
Ah!
No,
Grumpy.
Then we got Clive Stanton,
no,
and that's the one they're talking about could replace.
No.
He's kind of
No.
goofy.
Ton Hopper.
Look at them shirtless pictures popping up again.
I'm not
what
trying
is
to do
going
the
on
shirt.
with you?
Hey, dude, I just pull it up. That's what
Hey,
comes
hit
up.
the like button, people,
Here you go.
because Z
That's what his kid-
likes.
Got
shirtless
one with his got one with his kid. There you go.
Next,
Yeah, he was on that pirate series too. I like him.
Yeah, Dev Patel, and that's it. No.
No.
Luke Evans.
yes,
Yeah, I can see it.
I mean, he played Dracula.
But he's already getting older though.
That's the
Like,
problem.
how many years
So
has he got into him?
He can't do a whole lot of movies. I mean, Sean Connery was beyond age, and he did Never Say Never Again, but that's an unofficial Bond movie.
Well, since we don't have chat yet, because we need the views. Speaking of it, like if people watch us now, share it. I want to see how this whole thing works on YouTube. So my friend Adam, if you're watching, Adam, he says that he thinks Bronson should have started James Bond a handful of years before he did. He got too old too quick.
Yeah, I think he was under contract at one time, and that's why he couldn't do Bond.
With what? What else did he? Never mind.
No, I'm just saying at that
He's under-
time frame, I think he was. I thought the issue was he was. I mean, when he did Remington Steele, everybody knew he was going to be Bond. I mean, if you didn't, there was something wrong with you. But I think it was an issue where he couldn't take over the role at a certain time because he was under a contract or something.
well, I think Roger Moore was still under contract too.
Yeah. So I think
So
that
probably
was
then.
there was an issue, and then eventually he took the role. And I will admit, let me add in, I rewatched GoldenEye. And I was like, okay, not a bad movie. It wasn't bad. It was okay.
He did the action as
He can't
it's
fight,
not like
though.
James Bond is like he's good at everything.
He can't fight though.
No
Not that
actor
guy.
can fight. No actor can fight.
Before we pick a new actor, before we forget, because I did want to bring this up again, I need you to Google Sean Connery blue onesie.
Oh no!
I don't know if it's
can't.
going to take him off of number one right now, but he's number one. But I want to know what everybody thinks. Like if you
I'm
see
not
this
going
picture,
there. I'm
do
not
it.
going there.
You got to do it. Do it. James Bond blue onesie. That's it. James Bond blue onesie. Look at somebody. It's been searched already, so it's right there. Just click
Yes,
on
it's
it.
been searched.
All right, now click on that. Yeah, this is what he. No. You got to click on him wearing it. First one. This was in Goldfinger.
Yes, it was.
Goldfinger. He wore.
the terry cloth onesie.
How
Yes.
can? This is the one thing that always drove me crazy. How
it
can
was
you
the
have
'60s?
a
It was
double
the 60s.
O next to your name? That means you have confirmed kills. But then look at this in your closet and say, yes.
It was
Yes.
the '60s. All I can say is it was the '60s.
Like, okay, I understand. How does that work if you got number one? Number two, you're done. You got to take it all off. Oh my God. It's like taking a poopy suit off on a boat. It's too much work. Like, you make sure
guess,
you're
man.
good. Like, you could take, did you go to the bathroom before you put your onesie on? Yes. Good. Don't go to Taco Bell and then put your onesie on. There's
No, don't go to
lessons there.
Arby's. Don't go to Arby's.
I'm tore up. The onesie, stop.
All right, let's move on.
Butt
Let's move
flaps.
on. Okay, I have no idea how to say this guy's name, and I'm not going to try.
No.
But I mean, he has the Bond look.
No, he doesn't. No.
Okay. And I mean, all the girls swooned over him in that, what was the name of the show that he was on?
Nope.
I'm not even gonna remember.
No.
And I know probably everybody's probably lighting up our chat because they said, "How do you not know who the show is?" I didn't watch it. I'm sorry.
He could almost, if he is James Bond, he could probably block bullets with his eyebrows.
Let's move on. Tom Holland.
No.
Maybe when he doesn't look 16.
Yeah.
Like did you guys, he just did Uncharted.
I haven't seen it yet. We'll see it within the week.
Have you played the game?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you know the character he's playing. You don't have to see the movie.
Yeah.
All right.
I think he can do that. I think he can play Drake. I think he can do that.
Technically, first time I played Uncharted, Nathan Fillion came to my mind. I was like, this guy, that was made for him.
I think he can. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I do dig him. I hope he doesn't get typecasted and only get stuck in the Spider-Man role forever. I mean, he's trying to break out, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping he doesn't get
play another character. That's the question. Can he play a different type of character?
Yeah. That's the scene from Drake, from him being in Uncharted.
Yeah.
I think he can do Drake.
Like
now, can Mark Wahlberg? Let me move on.
that'll be.
I'm gonna leave it alone. Let's move on. Cillian Murphy.
I would say yes.
No.
I say he's a good bad guy.
Yes,
he is a good bad guy.
He's an awesome.
He's got to look. He's got that I'm good at judging people. Like if I saw him at Walmart, as soon as I looked at him, I'm like, this guy's a dick. I wouldn't even talk to him. So he's automatically a bad guy.
But I would say for that reason, because if we want to see like the double agent thing, like he could look like the bad guy and it could that's why I would say yes.
No, sorry. Can't go with you.
That's the guy who wants the girl, but all right.
Can't go with you. Let's move on.
Moving on.
Tom Hardy.
No.
Yeah, he's Venom. Sorry. Can't do it. Moving on. Not even going there. Robert Pattinson, not going there. He's Batman right now. Move on. James Norton. Yeah, he doesn't. I don't know. He just doesn't. No. Moving on.
He looks sleepy. That guy. Okay.
All right. So my man, who is it? Sam Hugan. Yeah. Whatever. Please, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna butcher your names, but didn't he do the Viking thing? No, Outlander.
Is there a thing with too much of a chin?
Could be, but I don't know. He gets a maybe. Moving on.
He looks like
chin,
a CW guy.
He does look like a CW. There's the next Green Arrow.
That's a new Green. The Arrow. No. We'll never touch that movie again. All right, last but not least.
I like this dude. He's
my
on
man,
the fence.
Francis.
He kind of looks like we've seen him play bad guys before.
Yes, we have.
But we've seen him when he was pretty good in Midway. He was good in that.
Yeah.
I could see this guy.
I think I could see him too. He would be good.
You said no.
I originally said no, and now I'm looking at him and I'm thinking of him and Francis as other things. And based on what you've given me, I choose him.
Oh,
do the shirtless pictures make you change your mind?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, that kind of made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. But the other ones look like CW models, and this guy can at least act, and he has like a certain menace to him too, which I think
he's got a 32 pack. A 32 pack.
Yeah, so I think he can do it.
Yeah, because again, that's Francis. I'm sorry,
but Francis is sort of, well, you get hung up on like certain actors in certain roles, so you're fixated.
Well, my thing is,
so hot off the presses.
Like he can handle
Excuse me, guys. I don't want to interrupt. Hot off the presses. The wife just came in and she said the last guy, and she gave me a thumbs up.
Thank you.
Made a really weird face.
She likes Francis.
Now I got to compete.
She likes Francis. All right.
Ajax.
Yeah, his name was Francis. So that's it. His name is Francis from here on out. I don't know what his name is, but it's Francis.
Oh, Lord Almighty. Oh, I can't compete with that. I got to go back to the gym. I don't even know how you get 32 abs. That's impossible. I can do sit-ups and backups. I got one ab.
All right.
All right, so right now, let's see where we go, James Bond. So number one, Sean Connery, right?
Yeah, number one, Sean Connery.
Number two, we all agree, Daniel Craig.
I was outvoted, but yes, we Daniel Craig.
All right, so very close to number two, Pierce Brosnan. All right.
Yeah.
And then who else? Who's number four?
We don't really care.
Roger Moore.
Roger Moore. Yep.
Roger Moore.
All right. That's good. And the other guys, whatever. They can duke it out down in the basement. I don't care. Now, I mean, this is a sensitive subject, but I mean, should James Bond always be white, or should they make him African American or black or African or British African? How should they change that?
It depends on how you do it. If you're going to do it, then do it. You know, don't do it just to make somebody a token. If you're going to do it, do it. You know, actually put somebody in that role that can do that role to the best of its ability and actually do it. But I mean, it's based on Popov, you know, who is Serbian. Yeah.
Like really like pasty white. White.
So I mean, some like, you know, I mean, if you stand true to the actual character, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you make him a British, you know, not true to the character, but true to the you know, who it was designed about, you know. Yeah, I mean, I would say, I mean, Caucasian British male. I mean, my thing is just make sure he's British. Make sure he can actually, you know.
Yeah,
I just don't want somebody to come in. It's just like somebody comes in and they fake a New York accent. And you can tell they don't know the New York accent.
Yeah, I'm walking here.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're over the top on the accent, you know. So I don't want somebody to come in over the top faking an accent. I mean, I want somebody that actually can do the role. That's all.
I think that, you know, James Bond's character has been cemented in literature and in the movies for so long as being, you know, the spy, the British type that works for MI6, right? Like it's just locked in. You know, I don't think just, I think if I always believe if there's a good enough actor, yeah, it could be a black dude. I think totally cool. I'd still watch it. But the way Hollywood is, they're going to do it just for that reason. It's just like in Lord of the Rings, how they put a black lady as the queen of dwarves. I don't get it. It's just to do it. Like there's good stories out there. If they force it, the same thing with female-led films, right? Like the movie 355 that came out. That movie flopped harder than pancakes, right? Because the characters weren't there. It was the same basic action series, like same basic. There was no character arc, and of course, you know, like the who was it? The German girl. She's hard to work with other people. That was her thing, right? That's what you need to learn how to work with other people. She worked with everybody just fine. There was no trying. She was like, cool, all right. It was so boring. But the only reason they did it was to make the female-led movie, and all female. And you look at it, like they can't run. They can't freaking shoot a gun right. Yeah. If you have a good story, it works. Like an original story that's a female-led movie was Jolt. Did you guys see that flick? It was on Amazon.
No, I haven't seen Jolt.
All right, so basic synopsis of the whole thing. This girl grows up and she's got a temper worse than mine, like more than punching the mailman. Worse than my temper. And she just loses it. Like, example, if she's at a restaurant and she sees a Karen coming up talking crap to a waitress, she's going to drag that Karen into the bathroom and beat the ever loving crap out of her to probably kill her. So she goes to see a psychiatrist. She hooks up these electrodes on her arms and her back. And every time she feels the rage kick in, she presses the button. Interesting story. And the fights make sense. Like, she'll fight, but she's not like dominating. She's going to get her ass kicked, but she still comes back. Another good one. And I talked to my wife about this the other day. Kill Bill. 100%. Like, look at every single role in that movie was female. 95% of the lead cast was female. And it was awesome. Character arc. Everybody fell into place. It wasn't forced upon. They actually, Quentin Tarantino actually sit down and wrote a story.
All right. Can I cut in real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I'm reading some of the chats here. And
you got chats on here?
Yeah, I'm gonna address the elephant in the room. Because I know it's going to be said. And we didn't talk about them because I didn't put the picture up, and it was Idris Elba.
Who?
Idris Elba.
Love that dude. I think he's too old though. I mean, he was gonna play. I think he's past his Bond prime.
But I would say I would bring him in as the trainer or like the mentor for the new Bond.
Okay.
Because I think that would be like he could be M. Or wait.
He can't be M. Somebody else is M.
We're starting over again. Like, it's brand new.
We're starting over.
We're starting over. So make him M.
Oh, so great. Bond dies and everybody has to go.
But I mean, you could treat the James Bond name like Triple X, like sort of thing. But it's like Darth said, like, you have to make sure it's well written and it doesn't feel like it's tokenism or like any of those things, because that's what it's going to be. And people, like, half the fans are going to be pissed, like, if you go a certain route.
Okay. Like
making it like the new 007, like, it's just, it could work, but it's going to probably backfire.
Okay. I just wanted to hit the elephant in the room, because
the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
I wish he
is British.
I wish he would have built on his character a little bit more in Marvel.
Dude, I got a couple of characters I wish that Disney would have built on, but we're going to talk about that another day.
We covered a lot.
I still have my problems about how they did Finn.
That's a whole.
Yeah, that's why I said we'll have to do that another day.
I kind of pointed you in that right direction why that happens.
Yeah, I did not like that. Did not like how they did that whole thing. But let's move on.
Yeah.
But add in, like Bill just said it earlier. I mean, please like or subscribe, subscribe. Hit the like button. You'll keep us doing this every so often. We'll be splitting up and doing individual type things every so often. Eventually we get to 1,000, 1,000 subscribers. Hey, we might do giveaways and stuff like that. Might be kind of fun. But like I said, just come on, join in with us. I mean, this is a fan site. I love the chats. I am getting a kick out of the chats. They like you, Bill.
Everyone likes Bill.
You got to read some of them because you're streaming at your end, so I can't see what they're saying.
Okay. So you got Shanda Feldman that says that Bill is a riot. She likes Bill. I have somebody saying DC should stick with animated and TV shows.
Right, that was a good one.
Yeah, because the animated shows are good.
Yeah.
I mean, The Killing Joke, the way they did that was good. The Long Halloween was good.
Oh yeah, 2 parts. It was 2 parts.
Yeah, it's 2 parts. So they did a real good job with a lot of the different things they did with that. We have very true on the Scooby-Doo gang reference. I remember you made the Scooby-Doo talking about Flash. You're talking about the Scooby gang.
That's funny. That's good. What's that? Shout out to Sun Weston for making the Three Great Nerds graphics look awesome.
Oh yeah, Weston
Yeah.
did the graphics. Yeah, that was the
All
best.
right. I like it.
That's a
I
nice-
like it. I like it. I like it. Good shout out. Shout out to what was it? Shout out to my son Weston. And shout out to Weston. All right. Making our graphic.
Oh, and, Weston actually is going to be helping us too. So if we make the videos, he's good at chopping them together and editing them up. So because we're old guys.
Yeah, we're old dudes.
I mean, look, Weston's young. He was like born into technology. Like our technology was our Atari playing combat and a speak and spell. That sounded like the devil.
I
Spell
remember
yolk
playing the
as an
submarine
egg.
game Gato.
I just got somebody else to say they love you too, Bill.
I love
Sean.
everybody.
Got Sean here say he loves you.
I
Sean
love you
loves
too,
Sean.
Bill. I love you too. I'm not sure about Z, but yeah, Bill.
After he sees Rocketeer, I think
I am not watching Rocketeer.
right
Why
now,
I am
now,
not-
Z, I kind of like you. I don't know where I'm going.
I am not watching Rocketeer. I'm sorry. Double breasted is out of style right now.
It is the first
Double-breasted.
Disney comic book movie.
Yeah, it is like the first Disney cartoon or comic movie.
So that means it'll be on Disney Plus.
It is on Disney Plus, I think.
Oh
It-
God.
That's
Okay.
the assignment because we're gonna ask you questions about it next show.
Nope.
Hey. Can anybody check the fact? Did they pull off Anastasia off of Disney? Since it was a Russian story with
It-
what's going on in the world.
So the rumor is they pulled it off, but it was because it ran out of however long they can keep it on the channel.
It's
I
the
think-
internet. Why do they do that?
I don't.
They don't have. Well, you said they didn't have the rights anymore to it.
Yeah, or
No,
something
it just-
crap like that.
Conveniently took it off the air. Like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I-
go on and look.
It's suspicious, but whatever. Disney, they want.
We have. I'm gonna move on. We have Richard that agrees with me that Roger Moore's fighting style was clumsy. Thank you, Richard.
I wasn't talking about Roger Moore. I was talking about Brosnan.
I'm talking about Roger Moore. He was clunky.
I would say let's talk about next time. Like, can actors actually fight? Because my is no, they cannot. And the ones that
That's
can't
not
fight
the
can't
point.
act.
Like I said, the point is I want my James Bond to look like he can throw hands. That's all I'm saying.
That's your
That's all I'm
stunt
saying.
coordinator. You have to have
No,
good stunt.
I
You have
wa-
to have good fight coordinators.
Okay, and I want mine to look like he can throw hands. I'm sorry. Remington
Well,
still can't
look
throw
at
hands.
Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves. He looks like he can fight in John Wick. In Matrix sort of, but he looks like he can fight in those movies. But that's Bill and Ted. But
that's
John Wick.
because he trained, though.
He
took
trained
Right,
on
jujitsu
it.
he
classes.
trained, but like they had good fight. Like the guy who does that did. What was that? Miss Nobody. Have you seen Nobody?
I'd repeat.
Oh, yes, I did see
yes,
that.
I have,
So
but I
that
want
guy-
him to look like he can throw hands. Even if you're acting, that's your job. But sometimes, even in acting, you
See,
still
we're not
don't
going to get
look-
into this.
look
This is
he
like
can
a long topic.
Yeah,
so
let's
like,
move on. Move on.
I got all night.
Oh, well, Sean just said that Anastasia is moving to Stars on March the 18th.
so that might be why I got taken off. Like,
So they
Disney.
lost the rights to it, evidently.
But HBO has
Much love to you, Sean.
So it's just a
Shout out.
convenient timing. It's just convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll all of our podcasts will have codes in it so people can try to figure out what it means.
They'll have codes in it.
Codes.
Sure. It's like a riddle.
That would be pretty cool.
So
Hey, if we ever get popular, like I'm telling you, if we can get popular and make this a living, and it's like a straight nerd Joe Rogan podcast, and I don't have to work in, I will be drinking and getting high like Joe Rogan, and we'll just talk nerd stuff. I know that's how he goes for 3 hours.
Probably. We'll probably all move next to Bill too, so
Yeah,
it'll
we'll just
be a
move
lot
next to
easier.
Bill.
Why do you want to come down here? So all right, so we all caught up on a few new shows, right? Let everybody know like some of the stuff that we're watching, or we already recently watched, right? Reacher.
Reacher, yes.
Oh,
Watching that.
double thumbs up. High five to the mailman. I didn't even hit him this time.
Yes.
I
Reacher.
I would high five.
Yeah, that was good. I read the books while I was underway. The Killing Fields. That's the one I read, and it describes him how tall he is. I was like, finally, Bill gets to identify with somebody. Finally,
Representation matters, man.
I mean, even though I got, just so you know, I got Reacher by 2 inches.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He looks like he's a big
Yeah.
guy, but he's not being played by a midget anymore. So
Yeah, I know. But like, when I saw the movie came out and it was Tom Cruise, I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me.
well, they filmed the entire movie by looking straight up at him like that. So which isn't too hard because that's
It didn't work.
They did it too. Like Arnold Sylvester Stallone. I think he's only like 5'5".
They're all
So when he did all those shots, like he's standing on boxes when he was like standing next to Dolph Lundgren, who's 6'6", and a genius, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that guy. The guy's like a
Yeah.
physicist.
Really?
Yeah, he's got PhDs. He's like legit smart. And he
Well,
probably
Daniel-
he probably saw Rocketeer.
so
in the chat, I just got. Did you guys like Tom Cruise? That's
we
a
love
no.
Tom Cruise.
That's a no.
But Daniel Craig is 5'11", so I mean that's close to. Well, that's my height almost.
It's
So
adorable.
Reacher, I like Vox Machina. I don't know if I pronounced that. That's on
Vox
Amazon
Machina.
Prime too.
Vox
Ooh,
Machina.
That to me it's animation, so it might not be everyone's thing, but you don't need to know too much in D&D. Like it's awesome, and it probably has one of the best opening scenes I have ever seen.
Yeah, I just like the first couple minutes. It's fun.
The bar scene.
No,
No, before that, like the
when
opening
when they
scene-
show the heroes.
Not gonna spoil it. You guys.
Yeah,
do
I'm
watch it.
not going to
can't
spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it. No. I've already
So
spoiled one thing.
Reacher, Vox Machina. I think that's it. That's how they were saying it in the show.
Yeah, Vox Machina. I think I said it right.
And I was kind of
Machina.
liking.
D&D.
I don't know.
I was kind of liking how they did it with every Friday, like 3 episodes came out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you binge watch stuff, it kind of makes me sad, and I kind of feel fat. It's like when my wife comes home and she's like, "Here, I got you a whole box of freaking the good chocolate eggs, like 7 of them, and I eat them all in 5 minutes. It was good, but then I feel guilty.
Like Girl Scout cookies.
Don't even get me started.
Yes.
But you feel guilty. It's like, oh my God, it was so good. Like maybe if I just ate 1 Girl Scout cookie a week,
No.
but no,
You can't-
if I
you
can have
can't eat.
3,
No.
I want to
You
eat a
mean
whole
one-
sleeve.
Yeah, you mean 1 box a week? No, can't do that.
1 box a week.
I can't do that.
Challenge accepted.
No.
Oh boy, here we go.
Can't do it. Can't do it. No.
Well, okay, so you guys all watched the Amazon series, The Boys, right? Z.
Believe it or not, no.
Oh, Lord Almighty.
Oh my god. So everyone, this is why we call him Z, because he doesn't watch anything.
Maybe everybody in chat could come up with a good nickname.
I'm busy. Sorry, busy.
We're
Things
all
good.
busy. It's called not sleeping. Let the family go to bed.
All right, so we'll watch The Boys.
All right. So for everybody else in the world that's already seen it,
Oh, you can spoil it. It's okay.
I'm not spoiling it. I'm not spoiling it because it's got 2
Spoil
seasons
everything.
out, and the 3rd season's getting close to coming out, I think, this year. But they just did it like an animated. It's called Diabolical. It takes place the same kind of, has some of the characters are in it, but it's like other superheroes. And if you guys don't know, the premises is a company called Vought makes this little superhero juice, And then people like, if they're poor, like, I'm gonna give it to my kid, see if my kid gets a superpower, and then they get loads of cash, they get loads famous. Sometimes it doesn't work. And your kid gets a stupid superpower, like blowing booger bubbles. That's it. That's your superpower. But this goes into that. It's funny. I don't want to ruin it. And it's all different, like separate animation shorts or by 30-minute episodes.
Okay.
Matrix did it. Animatrix.
Oh, I
That was
love
actually pretty
Animatrix.
good too.
Love
Kinda-
Animatrix.
Fills in the gaps and little stories here and there. Good stuff.
All right. So somebody we're gonna have to put on the list. Talk about the Netflix Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah,
Somebody wants to talk
I
about it.
enjoyed it. I watched the original anime
Yes.
and then I watched the live action,
Yes.
and I didn't have a problem with it. I
Me
don't
either.
know who did.
Me either. Didn't have
Netflix
a-
did. Netflix did. I don't know why, but
And it's, you know what? Straight super diverse cast. And it
I know
fit,
it should.
and they
it-
canceled it.
Well, I wasn't looking at that. I actually liked the guy that played Spike. I thought he was pretty good at it.
Yeah.
I definitely like the guy that played. Now I can't think of his name.
Oh, the guy that was the top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the other bounty hunter. I like their take on the family in the first episode. I thought that was pretty decent. I mean, there's some
Yeah.
things they can't be totally like the anime, but they could, do their own version of it in a way. I mean, be as close as possible. So I mean, I enjoyed it. I have to agree with a man here when he said that the Ed characters would have been the Ed character would have been a very annoying. Yeah, I mean, Ed was cute in the cartoons, but I think in live action, Ed would have been annoying.
Are we talking about his character's Jet Black?
Yeah, Jet Black.
Because that's the guy who played Luke Cage.
Yeah, no, that's not the guy who played Luke Cage.
Yeah, it was.
Uh-oh. That means he's about to get like demoted to like period.
Mustafa. I don't want to really mess up his name.
I-
It's friggin' that was Luke Cage.
I don't.
Oh, wait,
think
maybe he
he's-
wasn't.
That's Michael Colton.
Michael
Yeah, you're right.
Colton.
So he was
Yeah.
in Luke Cage. He didn't play Luke Cage.
Yeah, he might have been in it, but I know he did.
He played the
was Luke Cage.
Bushmaster. That's it.
Yeah, he was Bushmaster. You were close.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
close.
You were close. That's
See?
a good job.
It's because I'm sober. If I was like Joe Rogan right now, he'd know.
You'd be like swaying right now.
But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed it. I mean, like I said, was it exactly like the anime? No. But I think they did a good job at being as close as possible to it without going so far from the actual source. So I enjoyed it.
It
No.
probably cost too much for them, and that's probably why it got canceled. Because the same thing happened with Altered Carbon or whatever, that other show.
Yes.
I mean, it had two
Yeah.
seasons. I mean, and they're still doing Lucifer seasons, which people might like. I haven't. I think I watched the first like three seasons of it. It was good, but I don't know how Altered Carbon got like canceled either, because you can literally save money by having a different actor play one character every season.
Yeah, it was a good concept.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Sean said views, right? Not a lot. Because like Cowboy Bebop, he wasn't popular. I mean, it wasn't popular amongst normal folks.
No.
Z probably never heard about it till the show came out.
Dude, I was watching Cowboy Bebop on Adult Swim, staying up till midnight
Oh.
and 1 o'clock. in
Oh,
the
now
morning
he's
just
got
to-
time. Now he's not busy when that's on.
Oh man, 'cause that was Cowboy Bebop was cool.
So I'm calling you out.
It is Cowboy Bebop, Gatchaman. I think that was the other one that I remember watching. I forget what it was called. What's the US name?
What?
Gatchaman?
The UU.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Battle B something. I don't know.
See, I think next Sunday, right, when we do this, here's an idea for a topic. animation or books that haven't been made into a movie that you want to see made into a movie. So everybody that's watching here, if you're watching later, come up with an idea, throw it in on Facebook or Instagram or on the Twitter. If you have any ideas, stuff that you want to see that was a book or animated, like I wouldn't mind seeing Titan. Was oh crap? Why am I forgetting the
Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan? That's such a crazy ass show. I kind of want to see that real life. Like
I'm upset that the
I want to
last.
play a giant. That's what I'm saying.
You know, they did an Attack on Titan. It's a Attack on Titan park that's in Universal Studios. I think that's in Japan. So I would love to go and see that. I would love to go there and see that.
Yeah, and like another thing is like instead of movies, like old TV shows, right? Because it seems like Hollywood's running out of ideas, but they keep rehashing the same ones. Like I was thinking, right? Come up with the cast of a remake for Greatest American Hero.
Oh no. No.
I thought you were going to say Underdog, but
They did that. They
same
did that.
difference. Same difference.
They did Underdog already. It was a shitty ass movie.
But check this out. Remember, I don't see. I'm gonna go back. There was a cartoon called Galaxy Rangers.
Yep.
They used to come on. I would love for them to redo something like that.
That was like one of my favorite cartoons.
Yeah. And the problem was that cartoon came on at a certain time when I was supposed to be in school. So that wasn't good.
It was only like 4:30.
Not where I lived at. It came on right when the bus was supposed to come.
Oh, it was an afternoon cartoon.
It was
For
a
me, it was an
morning
afternoon cartoon.
For me, it was
That's
a
like
morning
Thundercats.
cartoon.
Thundercats came on.
Yeah, Thundercats
After
came on
school.
in the afternoon. That was after school.
Because I think it was Thundercats, then Galaxy Rangers, and then something else.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, something like that, or even redoing remember what was that, Star Blazers?
Yeah, that was crazy.
I would love for them to redo that.
What was
Yeah,
the
you go-
cartoon where the
you
guy
go
turned
deep.
into a car?
Say again?
What was the cartoon where the guy, when he gets hot, he turns into a car?
Oh Lord, that was terrible. Turbo Teen. That was terrible. Terrible.
When he
Come
gets
on.
hot, so like if he's
Yeah.
in the fooling around with the girl, like hey,
No.
beep, beep.
I mean, that would be kind of, I mean, they could do it as like a comedy. Well, they made 21
Don't worry.
Jump Street that way.
Don't worry, it's just my exhaust pipe.
It gives whole
Somebody
new
just-
meaning.
Somebody just asked Galaxy Rangers. Oh yeah, Galaxy Rangers was cool, man.
Google it.
I thought it was cool. Yeah, YouTube it. I'm sure they got an episode on there. I thought it was cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's
was
standard.
hot.
All right,
That was
so
hot.
You can even start thinking of the cast too. See,
and you know what? I think next live stream we'll review the Batman. We'll give everybody a chance because I don't
spoilers.
hey,
it's hard to spoil it. It's hard to review something without spoiling it.
True.
so you're Z now because Z has actually already seen it. So
That's
you're
because you
now.
probably gave him a ride. That's probably because you gave him a ride.
Yeah.
That's true. I did throw him in the trunk, and then we like went to go see it. So he bought me popcorn and drinks though. So that was
Yeah, he bought the tickets. We did a
You know
swap.
what? I'll go tomorrow. I'm gonna go see it tomorrow. I'll be ready to go. But I've seen some great reviews on it. Like I haven't seen anything that's just.
I'm
And
not.
then
I'm not spoiled.
Robert Pattinson. Look, history like when they came out with the Michael Keaton Batman. When I heard that, because that was '89, right? Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
Michael Keaton. How's Beetlejuice gonna play freaking Batman? How's Mr. Mom gonna play Batman?
Exactly. I remember
Same
that.
people are saying, how's Twilight Sparkly Vampire gonna play Batman?
I remember that.
Go watch the movie Lighthouse. Go watch the weird ass horror
Tenet.
movie Lighthouse.
Tenet.
With Patterson's a good actor. He just he should have never done Twilight. That movie should never even exist, really. And if you
Well,
like
that book's
Twilight, What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
It's weird. Who's
He's good in
sparkly
Tenet, too.
vampires?
Yeah, twinkly vampires.
Which
You know
reminds
what
me-
they need? How about this? How about a Twilight Blade crossover? End of series. Boom, Blade wins. With Wesley Snipes.
We got
Yeah.
new Blade that coming out pretty soon. I'm waiting on that. I want to see that.
Yeah, I got to see when that. See if they mention anything.
Uh,
But I think that was an outstanding. That was an outstanding first show. I hope,
Yeah.
give some more people to watch. The guy, whoever came and did watch, I appreciate it. That was awesome. Like I said, so this is you're going to watch history in the making right here. This is the first one, and maybe 5 years from now, when we're all flying in golden helicopters, making millions of money, you're like, I remember the first episode. And I remember when Z didn't watch really anything.
Yeah, he didn't watch anything.
called you out.
He didn't even see the Rocketeer.
He hasn't even seen Beware the Batman.
Haven't seen Beware the
See?
Batman. That's okay.
See,
I did.
I knew you didn't see it. It's so the reason I want him to see Beware the Batman is because of Alfred. Because he's thinking Alfred is like a frail man from Kane and those people, and I'm trying to get his mindset to that.
Okay. Well, let's not dig into anything just yet. I just wanted
And
to add
that's
in
not a
couple
spoiler at all either.
I just
Darth or anyone else. I want Z to see a different portrayal of Alfred.
okay. I just want to add in some of the chats that's in here. First of all, you got a couple people that said that we did a pretty decent job. So we want to thank everybody for watching again.
Yes, thank you.
I wanted to add this one though. Cassie said it was okay, I guess.
I hope she's talking about the movie and not the podcast.
I think she's talking about Z.
I'm pretty sure somebody here in these three little panels right here is paying for your college, so you better like it.
But like I said, the main thing is we're going to give different reviews on a lot of topics, and it's all going to be on a fan's perspective. I mean, none of us are writers, but we're people
I
that
like
love
to write.
I'm just you can write for real letters.
I do.
Anyway,
It always starts off with penthouse.
the thing is,
You're not
I
going to
want-
believe it happened to me.
Anyway, I just want to say it's good. The thing is, we're going to talk about it on a fan's perspective, and because we're all lovers of the genre, that's the main thing. If anything, you'll hear from us is the passion and the fact that we love the genre. And when people mess it up or they just don't, when it's like a money grab or it's not something really based on the actual thing, that's when you hear us get upset and you hear us get ticked off.
It just so everyone knows, it's normally Darth and me who gets upset, and then we got our little moderator to the right or left who says, it's okay.
It was
And
okay. It was okay.
And that gets us going even more. So it's like poking the bears.
It's like, I don't know if anybody's ever read it's one of the DC Marvel crossovers. And so in space, there's this huge, two giant gods that are sleeping. And there's one actual normal guy that stays in between, keep him from fighting. Well, something happens. I think Lex Luthor pulls him out. He ends up on Earth. Without him there, the two guys start fighting and start punching each other. Every time they punch each other, a Marvel character shows up at DC. Like the first one was Juggernaut. And he's fighting the X-Men. Next thing you know, he's crashing into Daily Planet, and Superman's there like, and it just keeps going crazy. I'll have to dig it out and show you guys. That's us. You're the calm voice in between the two giant nerds.
I gotta be the calm voice.
I think he was trying to pit us against each other, but it doesn't always work that way.
I will eventually.
It'll probably get spicy. I like it.
But again, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, help build this brand, because we're going to keep this going, and we're just going to have fun. That's all to it. It's just about having fun.
If you don't want me to hit the mailman, share this.
All right.
Or I'll stick Lassie on you.
Slick Lassie.
All right. Outstanding.
Outstanding.
See you guys. See y'all. Hello.
Yeah, this is awkward.
Yeah, this the silence is awkward.
Did he pause it or did he leave?
I see he's frozen right now, and we're still recording. This is like the beginning of the show. So this is like extended features with us now.
This is like the extra scenes, the behind the scenes.
Behind the
No.
scenes.
Oh, did you stop recording
I
or stop
cannot-
live? 'Cause we
Nope,
said
we're
our
still
goodbyes
live.
already. We need to work on our timing here. Okay. Bye.
Go ahead,
Bye.
leave the meeting. Leave the meeting.
That's like the end of Fear Pillow. What are you still doing here?
Leave
What are
the
you still
meeting.
doing here?
Okay, we're leaving the meeting now.
All right, we're still live. Still awkward. Okay, we're leaving. Stop streaming right now. Now.
Now,
Now.
now,
Do
now,
it now.
now. Please. Nope.
Nope. Is there a lot of buttons over there? What's going on? Oh, this is interesting. We're still live.
Are we still frozen? Is he frozen again? He's still frozen.
Okay. So awkward. Yeah. So how's everybody doing?
Is everyone doing fine? Is everyone still watching? Isn't
Yes,
Bill
they're
funny?
still watching.
This is great. People are still there. Don't do anything to get canceled. I think we're good. We can't even stop a stream. We're still here. Oh, now he disappeared. Oh no, he's back.
Oh, there he is. Stop looking.
Or we could just freeze.
I like it when he free. Whoa!
Yeah.
Good
Oh,
job.
no, we're still live though. Recording stopped. Now we're still.